No, I don't want to say good. What up, everybody? Welcome to Wrestling Takes and Ain't You SummerSlam Prediction Show. We're going to go through all these great matches that we have on SummerSlam this week and give you our predictions. Cameron, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm excited for this weekend. I want to do something a little different this time, Cam. We have two championship matches on Friday Night SmackDown also. The Women's Tag Team Championship match and the Men's WWE Tag Team Championship match. So if we could add those two in also, I thought that would be pretty fun.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Well, let's start with those, man. Let's start with the Women's WWE Tag Team Championship match, which includes Unholy Union of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn versus Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. What's your takes on that one?
Well, I was honestly very surprised when the Unholy Union won back in, was it May, Clash at the Castle? I was surprised that happened. But when they're going 2-on-2 without the third team, I do not see a way that they can beat Jade and Bianca, at least clean. Maybe if there's some interference, or is this the time where they turn Jade against Bianca? One of them turns heel? I think that match would be incredible, probably a WrestleMania level match. I think it's a bit too soon for that. And my official prediction is that Jade and Bianca will become two-time women's champions, tag team champions.
Right. We agreed on this last time. And we really thought that Jade and Bianca were going to win that triple threat match.
We were very wrong.
We were very wrong. But I agree, man. And I didn't think that Unholy Union looked that good Tuesday against Lash Legend and Ja'Cory Jackson. So I don't see them holding on to the belts. I think we're going to see new champions at SummerSlam.
I think probably another reason why they gave them it was they knew that the Scottish crowd would riot if all the Scottish people lost, because Piper Niven got beat, McIntyre got beat. You have to have some Scottish person win, so
you
I think that might have been another reason. Yeah,
right. Have to have one. All right, moving on to the men's championship. We have the Bloodline, Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu versus DIY. I'm gonna let you talk about this. I feel a certain way about this one, but I'm gonna let you go first.
This one's very tough because DIY, in my opinion, deserve to have a much longer reign. I think they should have won at WrestleMania 40. I think if they'd have won then in the ladder match instead of A Town Down Under, then losing them now would have been the perfect timing. But to me, I do think that Jimmy Uso will return at SummerSlam, not to spoil our later predictions. And I do think that he will reunite with Jey Uso eventually. So I'm going to go for the Bloodline to defeat DIY, as I think the Bloodline versus Jey and Jimmy Uso would be the final goal, maybe a WrestleMania or Survivor Series level match.
I agree 100%, and you are inside my brain right now.
Yeah,
because I believe that we're going to get a double dose of returns. Everyone seems to think that Roman's coming back. I think they're going to tease us a little bit because this match is going to go on. It's going to look like the Bloodline is going to be close. And there is a certain Uso who has been on every PLE since WrestleMania who does not have a match this PLE. Jey Uso does not have a match. I think we could see the return of Jimmy and Jay coming out and attacking the Bloodline. I know it's wishful thinking, but I mean, if I was writing it, if I had the pen, that's the way I would write it out for that. So I'm going to go DIY with interference from someone. I'll say someone.
You think DIY will win?
I think DIY is going to win.
Oh, wow. Right. I think the Bloodline will win, personally. Yeah, I mean, it's tough, isn't it? It's tough to call because both of them
Triple H loves
win,
DIY.
Yeah,
Triple H loves DIY. He really does. It was a great moment watching them win the belt, and I think they're going to keep the titles for just a little bit longer. All right. So now moving on to the main SummerSlam card. I find it a little weird they haven't announced anything for the pre-show, especially since we have a 3-hour pre-show. So I don't know what's going to...
3 hours? I don't even like when they're over an hour. I'm not a fan of the pre-shows.
Yeah, pre-show starts at 4 p.m.
Jesus.
and SummerSlam
Yeah.
starts at 7 Eastern
Yeah.
Standard Time. I don't know what that is,
Yeah.
UK.
It'll start at midnight here, which is better than 1 a.m., but it's still going to be painful.
Right? Cleveland's own Logan Paul,
Logan Paul, yeah.
versus LA Knight. How do you feel about that one?
There's a few reasons as to why I think this, but I do think that LA Knight will win. And one of the main ones, well, one of the reasons is that Logan Paul has only defended his United States title twice since November when he won it, which is a bit disgraceful, really. 2 defenses in, 8 months?
Right.
Not really good enough, is it?
For a
And
working man's title.
Yeah, it's not great, is it, really? We've already had enough of the part-time champions in the last 5 years with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, but Logan Paul just adds to it. And another reason is that him and his fiance are expecting a child in the coming months.
That's
so
right.
I foresee him taking a decent amount of time off for that. So I don't think Triple H will want his US champion taking 3-4 months off. So and another reason why I think LA Knight will win this is because his momentum over the last year has been incredible. I mean, at Crown Jewel, he faced Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Championship, and he almost got that. So I think it is long overdue that he does win some sort of championship.
I agree, and the point you made up about Logan getting ready to have a baby, I'm okay with. I'm over the LA hype though. The LA
Really?
Knight hype, I'm over that. I call him Stone Cold Steve Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and like I'm over it. He is going to win, and hopefully he does something really good with it. But I mean, I would not be mad if Logan Paul beat him in his hometown.
Yeah. I mean, I like LA Knight. I know he's not the best in the ring, but I think he's one of the most. I mean, other than Cody, I would say he's been the most entertaining part of Friday Night SmackDown since WrestleMania.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Next match. Let's go to the first women's. Or you know what? Let's stick with mid card men. Let's go to Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. How do you feel about that match?
I think this is only going one way, and I think Braun Breaker is walking out as the IC champion. A few reasons again. Netflix, I've heard there's rumors that they want Braun Breaker to be a huge part of Monday Night Raw from January when it goes over to Netflix, and him going in there as the Intercontinental Champion would be a massive thing and would help him elevate him as a star. And as well, you can't have him lose twice, at least clean to Sami Zayn when they're trying to push him as this unstoppable monster. It wouldn't really make too much sense, in my opinion.
I agree 100%. I think Sammy's gonna retain, and
really,
here's why. They have kept Ilya Dragunov off TV for a while, ever since he got hurt, and what better way for him to come back and just put the screws to Braun Breaker than to cost him the match at SummerSlam. I do agree Braun Breaker will hold the championship before this year is over. But the ultimate underdog, man, it is hard to bet against him. It is hard to bet against Sami Zayn. I am usually 1,000% wrong on all these, so you're probably right, but
you never know.
Heart of hearts, I want Sami Zayn to win this.
Yeah. Do you think it'll end in disqualification then with Ilya, or do you reckon the referee will be down and not see it?
I could see that. I could see that. Big spear, or maybe the referee accidentally gets Haluva kicked in the corner, and just shenanigans happen. So that's where I see that going.
Yeah.
Next match. Let's go Nia Jax versus Bayley. Can I start this one? I feel good about this one.
Yeah.
I see two scenarios. My main scenario is I'm going Nia Jax. I am going Nia Jax is winning this match 100%, and we're gonna get that. We're gonna get that. Will she? Won't she? With Tiffany Stratton cashing in on her, probably for at least 2 months.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited for it. I think Nia deserves the title run. She has been she was not very good her first run here, but ever since she's been back, she has been like at house shows. She's been more playful with the crowd. She hasn't hurt anyone. She seems to be taking the craft seriously. She's not going on social media and saying, the dumbest things that she can say. So I'm okay, and I'd love to see the bloodline accept her in after she wins the title.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Nia Jax will beat Bayley. I've been let down by this Bayley run, but honestly, I'm not surprised. I was calling it before the Royal Rumble. I was saying Bayley should not win it. That I don't think Bayley or Io were good enough to really warrant that world title match at WrestleMania 40. I'm not a huge fan of either of them. I think people like Jade Cargill, like Nia Jax, like Tiffany Stratton deserve the spotlight a little bit more. But I do think Nia Jax will walk out still the champion. I don't think that Tiffany will cash in the briefcase. I think she will at a later date, but not at SummerSlam.
And I'm excited to see the matches between Nia Jax and Bianca Belair, Nia Jax and Jade Cargill. Those are going to be some really good matches coming up, and I'm here for it. Yep. Moving on, we have Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley.
I've got Liv Morgan for this one. I would say Rhea's probably the favorite, but I can't work out whether it'll be on purpose or accidental. But I do think that Dominic will cost Rhea Ripley the Women's World Championship. I would err on the side of accidentally because obviously he did choose her last week on Raw, so I don't know why he would go against that so quickly. But I do think Liv Morgan will return.
So here's my thing, right? The Liv Morgan Revenge Tour. People keep saying it's over, but it's not over. And if you listen to what Liv said, she said, my revenge tour will not be done until I beat Rhea Ripley for her title.
Yeah.
So not defended against and win.
Yeah.
I think Rhea wins the title at SummerSlam. And then at Bad Blood, we get Liv Morgan, doing everything she can to finish her revenge tour. But I mean, mommy's always on top, man.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't see it any other way.
I shouldn't really bet against Rhea because I do like Rhea Ripley and she is the favorite, but I just think Liv's reign hasn't been long enough yet, and there's only been 2 or 3 title defenses. I think she needs a little bit longer as the women's world
This
champion.
has definitely been her best work, though. This has been Liv Morgan's best work, and so I applaud her for this. And I can't wait to see how it goes, because when she was sitting there and burning all of Dominic's stuff and crying, that was good TV.
Pardon me.
You're fine. All right. So should we leave the two? You know what? Let's do this. I want to save this one match for last, because I feel like this should be the main event. It won't be because Roman's coming back.
Is it?
Yeah. It won't be because Roman's coming back. Yeah. But so let's go Damian and Gunther.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it this way. Finn Balor costing Damian Priest the title. Gunther walks out your new World Heavyweight Champion. Short and sweet.
I see what you mean, but wouldn't Finn Balor be better off with Priest walking out the champion so he can then dethrone him? That's the way I would go. I think the story's there for Finn Balor to be the one to dethrone Priest, personally. But I do think Gunther will win. I don't really like either of these guys. I think it might be a bit of a boring match, to be honest. But from an in-ring perspective, it'll be okay. But I don't think either of them are really up there at the minute to warrant the World Heavyweight Championship. But I do think Gunther will walk out as a champ because they have been putting him on a monster push for the past year or so.
Every time Gunther steps in the ring, no matter who's he's in the ring against, he makes him look like a superstar. Gunther made Shorty G relevant again with those matches.
Yeah.
And, so like, I think it's his time. I don't think you can have him lose. Like this would be, if he loses at SummerSlam, it would be the first time he lost twice in a year in 5 years. That's saying something. That's incredible.
Yeah. I think it's kind of crazy to think that if Vince McMahon was still in charge, Gunther probably wouldn't even be in the company, right? Never mind
Yeah,
as the world champion.
definitely. So who was your pick there? You were
I
picking.
think Gunther will win. I think I would prefer Priest to win because I think there's still a story to be had there for Finn Balor to win the title off him. But I think they will go. I mean, I think the way Gunther should lose is Giovanni Vinci coming back to cost him.
Oh,
I think that would be very good, but I don't think it'll happen. He's on
yeah.
SmackDown, so that feud couldn't really play out too well. But I do think Gunther will win.
Okay. Moving on. Solo. I think this is going to be the most boring match of the night. Solo Sikoa versus Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. Cody, right? It has to be Cody. I think there's no. I mean, Solo. They've tried the best to push Solo. I think the only way I could take this seriously is if we find out that the real final boss, The Rock, has been behind all this. Because the way that portrayed Solo in the past 2 years, he doesn't really have much of a brain. He doesn't speak for himself.
No.
He just follows orders. So for now, all of a sudden, him to take charge, it doesn't really make sense to me. But if The Rock's got a hold of him and said, "Look, you're doing this Solo," and he's just following The Rock's orders, I think that would make a whole lot more sense. But I do think Cody will win, and I do think something big will happen at the end. But I'll let you get your prediction in first before we get to that.
I mean, as much as I hate to say it, Cody Rhodes is definitely winning this match. There's no way. There's no way you put the belt on Solo right now. He's not ready. And he's just not believable. He's not believable as a champion. He doesn't even have any bass in his voice yet. Like I hate hearing him say "acknowledge me." Like it sounds so terrible. We've had Roman for 4 years with that deep gravelly "acknowledge me," and now we got and it's just so it does nothing for me. So Cody Rhodes is going to win, and of course we're going to get the return of Roman Reigns. And if I'm wrong, I'll have pie all over my face. But I really believe Roman and Paul.
Yeah.
Paul are coming back.
What about Jimmy Uso?
Well, remember I said Jimmy was going to come back during the.
On Friday.
I think Jimmy's going to come back Friday.
Yeah.
It would just make sense.
Fair point. I mean, the worst case scenario is if the big returns end up being Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. Imagine that. That's the big returns that we see to come and help Cody. We've seen it about 8 times on SmackDown. But if they do that, I am not watching the next pay-per-view, honestly.
Yeah. I might have to cancel my Peacock subscription.
Yeah, that would be awful. Oh God.
Okay. Moving forward to what I think could be match of the year. Just because of all the true heat in it and the characters that are in it. And if he can stay healthy, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre with Seth Rollins as special guest referee. Now, what are your odds of Seth getting knocked out in this match? Getting knocked down and something crazy happening?
Yeah, quite high. And I think just to say, I think
catching the Claymore out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think the odds are quite high of Seth taking one or both of Punk and McIntyre out as well. I mean, when you're saying it could be match of the year, I actually think it won't be from an in-ring standpoint because, for one, it's CM Punk's first match in 10 years in WWE.
Yeah.
It's his first match since quite a bad injury, so I think they want to ease him in slightly. And another reason, I don't think this is the end of it. I think we'll see at least another 2 or 3 matches. I think Bad Blood, we could see Rollins versus Punk versus McIntyre. Yeah. Then maybe Survivor Series or the Rumble at Hell in a Cell, Punk, McIntyre. They could lead us up until WrestleMania, couldn't they? Realistically, this feud could go until WrestleMania.
I mean, this match here is going to tell a great story, though. Yeah. You know what I mean? This match here is going to be the first chapter and a great story that's going to hook you in. Yeah, so I'm super excited for that. But yeah, man, this is I am Aunt U, and I've been blessed to be here with Wrestling Takes, and this is our SummerSlam predictions, man. I always
end. Did you say who you think was going to win that one? Punk McIntyre?
I don't care who wins. I just want to see just a bunch of brutality.
Yeah.
If I
I think
had to,
Punk will win.
Punk, I think Drew McIntyre is going to win. That's funny.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
really want it to be Drew, but I think with it being Punk's first match in 10 years, they'll want it to be come back with a bang. I think it's a bit too obvious for Seth to cost Punk. So I think something else might happen in a little bit of a twist, and I think Punk will somehow get the win over McIntyre.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Unless there isn't a winner, unless Seth Rollins just says, "That's it, I'm calling it off. This isn't the end of this. We're having a match at Bad Blood." That could very well happen.
Right. Well, something happens like CM Punk goes to pin Drew, and Seth just turns his back and looks away, and then Drew goes to sit pin Punk, and they just turn away, and then they both attack. They just both attack Seth Rollins, and I could see something like that happening.
Yeah.
But no, either way, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch. Definitely. The characters in that match are, like Drew McIntyre has proved that he can be an amazing troll on social media. There's no better troll than CM Punk.
Yeah.
And just Seth Rollins is Seth Rollins, man. So it's going to be a great show. It's going to be a good SummerSlam. I have high hopes for this SummerSlam.
Yeah, hopefully.
Please, Paul Levesque, don't disappoint me. Other than that, man, thank you guys so much for watching this.